All right, let's dive into one of the biggest, most mind-bending threats on the digital horizon, the coming collision between quantum computers and the very tech that's supposed to keep your crypto safe. I mean, that's a terrifying thought, isn't it? The idea that some new breakthrough could just, poof, vaporize the assets you thought were locked down tight. But is this just science fiction, or is it a future that we actually need to be getting ready for, like right now?
Well, the real story here is a little more complicated than just some doomsday movie plot. What we're looking at isn't really a crypto apocalypse. It's more like a forced, high-stakes evolution. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
Okay, so first things first, we've got to understand where this threat is actually coming from. For decades, these super powerful quantum computers were basically just an idea on a whiteboard, but that's changing. And it's changing really, really fast. And look, this isn't some science fair project anymore. Big players like Google are hitting these huge milestones. Their Willow chip recently showed what they call a verifiable quantum advantage. That's just a fancy way of saying these machines are moving out of the lab and into the real world. The storm is no longer on the horizon. It's definitely gathering strength right offshore.
Now, this is where it gets absolutely wild. To give you a sense of the power we're talking about, in one of their big experiments, Google's quantum computers solved a problem in just 200 seconds, a problem that would take the most powerful supercomputer on Earth an estimated 10,000 years to solve. Let that sink in. This isn't just a faster computer, it's a whole new ballgame.
So how does this incredible power actually threaten your crypto? Well, a lot of people think that quantum computers are just going to break the blockchain. But that's not quite right. The blockchain itself, it's actually pretty tough. The real vulnerability, the Achilles heel, is something much more specific. It's the lock on the front door. And this, right here, is the weak spot, the digital signature. Think of it like this. It's the unforgeable signature you use to prove that you, and only you, are authorizing a payment. In the crypto world, this signature is mathematically generated from your secret private key, and it's the thing that secures every single transaction you make. So, how would this digital heist actually go down? Well, it's basically a four-step plan. Step 1. An attacker grabs your public key, which, by the way, becomes visible on the blockchain after you send a transaction. Step 2. They feed that public key into a powerful quantum computer running something called Shor's algorithm. Step 3. The algorithm works its magic and basically reverse engineers your secret private key from your public one. And finally, step 4, game over. The attacker has your private key and can sign transactions as if they were you, draining your wallet completely. And it's really, really important to get this next part. On one side, you have the digital signatures. These are the things that Shor's algorithm can totally shatter. But on the other side, you have the hashing that actually secures the blockchain structure. That's a different problem. It needs a different quantum tool called Grover's algorithm, which only gives a modest speed up. So it's a much, much harder nut to crack. The lock is vulnerable, not necessarily the whole building. But here's the really scary part. The threat isn't years away. It's already happening. It's a strategy called harvest now, decrypt later. Right now, adversaries are recording and storing huge amounts of encrypted data and public keys from blockchains. They're just stockpiling it, creating this massive library of future targets, waiting for that one day, let's call it Q-Day, when the quantum computer is ready to go. And then they can crack it all at once. And that leads us to the huge problem facing, well, the biggest name in the game. I love this quote because it captures the situation perfectly. Bitcoin is like a giant carrying this unbelievably valuable treasure chest, but the lock holding that chest shut is exactly the kind of lock a quantum computer is being designed to pick. So, you're probably thinking, okay, if we know the lock is weak, why not just swap it out? Why can't we just push a software update like we do for every other app on our phone? And that's where we run into what's called the Bitcoin paradox. The very thing that makes Bitcoin so powerful, its decentralization, becomes its biggest weakness in a crisis like this. There's no CEO of Bitcoin to just order an update. Any huge change like this requires something called a hard fork. That means creating a whole new version of Bitcoin and then trying to convince literally everyone, every miner, every exchange, every user around the globe to switch over. It is a massive political and technical undertaking.
But it's not all doom and gloom, not by a long shot. While the threat is real, the race is on to build a defense, a kind of quantum shield for all of our digital stuff.
Leading the charge here are groups like NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology in the US.
For years, they've been running this huge global competition to find and standardize a whole new set of cryptographic tools designed from the ground up to fight off attacks from both normal computers and quantum computers. This is the foundation of our defense. And out of this massive effort, we've got our new heroes. We're talking algorithms with these amazing sci-fi names like Crystals, Dilithium, and Falcon. These are the new gold standards. They're the building blocks for the next generation of quantum-resistant crypto wallets and secure systems. Okay, so this all sounds huge and kind of abstract, but what does it actually mean for you with your crypto today? Are there any practical steps you can take to protect yourself right now? Absolutely.
All right, tip number 1, and listen up, because this is probably the single most important thing you can do right now. Stop reusing crypto addresses. Remember how the whole attack starts with an attacker getting your public key? Well, your public key only becomes public after you spend from an address. So by using a fresh, brand new address every single time you receive crypto, you keep that key hidden for as long as possible. It massively reduces your risk.
Next up, tip number 2. If you have any serious amount of crypto that you're holding on to, you need to be looking at a multi-signature wallet, or multisig. It's simple. This setup requires more than one key to sign off on a transaction. So even if a quantum computer in the future could break one of your keys, the attacker still couldn't touch your funds. It's an incredibly powerful layer of defense. And last but not least, just stay in the loop. The switch to a quantum-safe world is going to happen. You need to pay attention to what your wallet provider is saying and what the developers of the crypto projects you use are planning. They will be the ones rolling out the upgrades, and you'll want to be ready to follow their instructions to keep yourself secure. You know, when you take a step back, this quote really says it all. There's this beautiful, brutal irony here. The entire world of cryptocurrency was built on this foundation of incredible, complex math. And now it's a new, even more powerful level of math that poses the biggest threat to its existence. But look, this isn't the end of the story. It's a transformation. The pressure from this quantum threat is going to force the entire system to get stronger, smarter, and way more secure. It's a true trial by fire. And what comes out on the other side won't just be quantum-resistant crypto, it'll be the very foundation of a whole new quantum economy.